Hello and welcome to The Print. I'm Sharan Poovanna. I'm the Senior Associate Editor. And currently, I've been camping in Hassan after traveling across other parts of Karnataka. I finally came to Hassan about 3 or 4 days ago, where one of India's biggest stories seems to be unraveling. Now, we have some questions from our subscribers, and we have one from Mr. Edwin Bright, who asks us what separates Karnataka from other states, even in rural areas when state and central elections are held simultaneously. People choose a state candidate for one party and central government another candidate, like a computer analyzing logically about the issues. Thank you, sir, for the question. Now, Karnataka is different in many, many aspects. So one of the biggest and most important factors that is very significant both socially and politically in Karnataka is the caste factor. Even though we have cities like Bengaluru and other major metros in Karnataka, caste plays a role even there. So even now you see, caste mobilization, you see caste equations being played out, you see political leaders making strategies around caste. So caste is a very, very important factor. Then, of course, there are many other factors which may be common to other places, but caste plays a significant role here. And yes, Karnataka does choose differently. It chooses a different party government in the center and the state. But yeah, there has been a period, say between 2019 and 2023, that there's been a BJP government in Karnataka as well as in the center. But I guess it's something on the lines of how Karnataka voters have wanted kind of the best of both worlds. They've chosen for a different party here and voted for a different party at the center. Um, uh, this is, since 2014, we have seen that the center, there's been a huge Modi factor. Now, that Modi factor plays a very big role in Lok Sabha elections, at least in the 2014 and the 2019 elections. This was a major factor. We'll have to wait for the results to see if that factor continues to work in Karnataka during the Lok Sabha elections. Because last year, the Congress swept Karnataka with winning 135 out of the 224 seats. And the BJP that was in power since 2019 was reduced to just 66. So it's all about we'll have to see this time if the trend holds that Karnataka votes differently for state elections as well as the Lok Sabha elections. And also that Karnataka has its politics is pretty volatile in the sense that since 2000 at least, we've had just 2 times where one party has been given a decisive vote. Otherwise, it has mostly been fractured verdicts. In 2013 and in 2023, these are the only 2 times since the year 2000 that we've had 2 decisive votes in Karnataka. But have never managed to secure a majority on their own. So there's a lot of volatility here with the people with coalition governments sort of being the norm and a majority being sort of an outlier in Karnataka. We have another question from from Vanikpur Jairaman. Now, the question is, will the repercussions of this spread across constituencies and influence a possible shift in the electoral choice? Will this result in the breakup of the alliance as BJP would be attacked on the issue? The BJP has distanced itself from Prajwal Revanna, but not the alliances yet. Now, you have to know that in Karnataka, the elections were in 2 phases. There was April 26th, 14 constituencies of Karnataka went to the polls, and on May 7th, another 14 constituencies will go to the polls. So they can. I don't know if they'll be able to pull out of this alliance in midway, but in the second phase, that is the 14 constituencies, largely in the northern, central and northern part of Karnataka, there is no BJP candidate. All the three JDS candidates. All the three JDS candidates were from Mandya, Kolar, and Hassan, which is in southern Karnataka. So that's all. The polling is already done. So the BJP now, even though Kumaraswamy and others have been campaigning for the BJP in northern Karnataka, the JDS has a very small presence in these parts. This is mostly a direct fight between Congress and the BJP in the northern parts. Uh, Interestingly, of course, is that Kumaraswamy, the former chief minister and the JDS leader, he has been defending Prime Minister Modi and the BJP over this unraveling of this Prajwal Revanna case. He's been stating that it was the BJP and JDS that came into an alliance, and as per the alliance, the JDS was given 3 seats, but it is not. It was not up to the BJP to tell the JDS as to who the candidate should be. So the JDS is sort of taking it upon themselves that fielding Prajwal Revanna was their own choice, and the Congress targeting Prime Minister Modi is very unfair and unjust. But the people who've been speaking, I mean, who we've been interacting with here, who've been speaking to the print, say that the BJP at the center and many other leaders, state leadership, also knew of, the existence of such a scandal or so many videos against Prajwal Revanna. Well, for nearly a year now, because last year in June, Prajwal Revanna was able to secure an injunction against the publishing of any material or the release of any videos that could be defamatory to him. So that is when there was some inkling that there's probably something out there, but people still hadn't known. And sometime in October last year, one of a former BJP candidates, a local BJP leader, had written to the top brass of the BJP in the state as well as the center, informing them of the existence of such videos and such a scandal likely to break out, and why they should not field Prajwal Revanna in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. Now, JDS leaders also tell us in confidence that they knew that such an incident or there was such a scandal, but they did not know the extent of it. Now, we know for now, by estimates, there are about 3,000 videos. It's yet to be ascertained how many women were actually exploited or any other aspects to this. Now, this is being investigated by the SIT in Karnataka, and we at The Print are at the ground right now trying to bring you the stories. We're trying to speak to, to victims, to families, to any aggrieved parties in this particular scandal. We have brought out a few stories, and we will continue to bring out more stories from the ground here in Hassan. Aditya Chandra asks, does Prajwal's case have any impact on the ground, specifically in the rural side? Do you think this can also impact BJP vote bank in Karnataka? Yes, it does have an impact, not just in the rural side, but it's sort of, every part of, this is news that's being read across Karnataka. It's being read across the country. And a lot of international media has also picked up on this particular news. The Congress has touted it the world's biggest sex scandal with 3,000 plus videos. We don't know how many women are there. Rahul Gandhi has said that this is mass rape of over 400 women. Now, we don't know the extent of it, but yes, it has had an impact. Most people are not willing to speak on this on record in places like Hassan, largely because it is where the JDS, this is a JDS bastion, and a lot of people fear coming out against the former Prime Minister Deve Gowda and his family. They could face some backlash. But yes, they do speak about it. Now, this discussion happens, in weddings. This discussion has been happening in any meets at local thekas, chai shops, everywhere. This has been happening, and everyone wants to speak about this, but it's mostly limited to close circles. There's also, a palpable fear here that what if someone we know is one of the 3,000 is there in one of the 3,000 plus videos. Now, there is fear on that also. So not many people are speaking out about it, but they have confided in us that there is palpable fear about this. And will this affect the BJP vote bank in Karnataka? Now, the results of this Lok Sabha elections will probably tell us if this has had any impact on the ground. Remember, these videos were released about a day or two before the April 26th polling. That is when Hassan went to the polls. So, and it was not also shared on social media. This was put on pen drives, and hundreds and thousands of pen drives were left in various places, including buses and common public frequenting areas, so that it can be found easily. But not on. It wasn't forwarded on social media initially. So whether or not people saw it, whether it'll have an impact or not, we will have to wait for the results to. We'll have to wait for results day. And the BJP largely, now it remains to be seen how the BJP reacts to this if charges are proved, or how they distance themselves from this scandal. And only then will it know whether it has been able to safeguard and shield its own support base on the ground, or if it's by association it will be tainted. Is that we'll have to wait for that. The results will probably give us a good indication of that. um, then we have a question from Krishna G. Even after writing a letter about Prajwal Revanna's character in advance to the top BJP management, why Amit Shah did not do due diligence about Prajwal? Also, PM campaigned and sought votes for Prajwal. Uh, in an earlier question, I've answered this, that it's the BJP has said that it had no say on who gets the tickets, and that they had given 3 seats to the JDS, and it was up to the JDS to field whoever they wanted. Um, Now, their own leader claims, in Hassan, their own leader H.D.Deve Gowda claims that he has written to everybody, including the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the BJP National President, the BJP State President. But all of them have said that no, they haven't received this particular letter, and they weren't aware of this particular scandal that's currently unraveling in Hassan. Whether now the Congress also is using these videos of the Prime Minister campaigning for Prajwal, but more than the BJP, it has been the JDS leaders who've come in defense of the BJP. Kumaraswamy leading the charge, saying that there is no connection between Prime Minister Modi and Prajwal Revanna. Then going on to say that it was not the Prime Minister's decision to field Prajwal, but it was a JDS party decision to field Prajwal. Iqbal Malik asks, what can be done that no candidate with non-clean life comes to the parliament and party does not matter? Well, in the current context, the qualification of these candidates or how they qualify to contest elections are well laid down rules by the Election Commission and the Constitution. So any changes on, if this case has on if Constitution will be amended or if rules will be later amended, we will have to wait for the verdict if this case has such an impact or a bearing on the rules in the future. But in the current context, most of the people who are candidates, their candidacy has been scrutinized, okay, and approved by relevant authorities so that they can contest the elections. But as voters, the option that we have is to ensure that we cast a ballot to vote out the people we think have such have a tainted past or any history that or any kind of character that you don't want to vote for. Now that is in the hands of the voter to vote them out or not. We have Colonel Achal Sridharan, who asks, I don't know why our MP should be given a diplomatic passport. We also know how criminals have occupied the center stage in our political spectrum. Treat them like common men. They misuse privileges. This is again a provision given by well laid down laws, and in this particular case, the MP did have a diplomatic passport. It has been confirmed that he did not follow rules in leaving the country. If I have the facts correct, then any MP must put a requisition to the Lok Sabha to 3 weeks in advance, get permission, and only then is allowed to leave. Now, the MEA has clarified that no permission was sought, and Prajwal Revanna has left the country and is in Germany. No visa was required with a diplomatic passport to go to Germany, but they also that no other country's visa is given to this particular passport. Whether or not they should be given this privilege, now this is something that a ruling government, the opposition, and other elected representatives take up in various relevant platforms, bring more attention to this, and hopefully this case serves as a good precedent on why it should be given or why it shouldn't be given. But this is something that needs to be deliberated, at the highest forums by elected representatives. Kalyan Subramani asks, what will be the impact of Prajwal Revanna scandal on the second phase of polling in Karnataka? Can the BJP NDA team handle this, which Karnataka for now seems like a blow to their only stronghold in the south? Now, again, the JDS has a very limited presence in the 14 constituencies that go to the polls on May 7th, but not to say that there is no perception, sort of a battle that they aren't fighting. Now, they may not have a candidate there right now, but yes, it has sort of impacted. There are people looking at the news developments quite keenly. We have spoken to people. I've been traveling across Belgaum and Hubli and Uttar Kannada and other places. There is fear that, or they are aware that this is happening in Karnataka. Many people may not know Prajwal, but they know that he's the grandson of H.D.Deve Gowda. So it does have some impact on the reputation of the JDS and the first family of the JDS, which is Deve Gowda. Remember, Deve Gowda has 9 members of his immediate family in active politics. They have been either MLAs, MPs, MLCs before, or are aspirants or were in some sort of elected position. So there are 9 people there. So people are aware that the Deve Gowda's family, and they are very mindful in the way they cast this vote. Also, politically, the Congress has been using this case of Prajwal Revanna to sort of hit back at the BJP. Now, the BJP has used the brutal murder of 23-year-old college student Neha Hiremat in Hubli as a way to show that there was love jihad and a conspiracy by minorities to go after the love jihad conspiracy, really. So they've been trying to corner the Congress on this front. But with the Prajwal Revanna case, the Congress seems to be like really hitting back. They've gone after the Prime Minister's flagship Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao program, asking if he still endorsed it because he has endorsed Prajwal Revanna. So the Congress has been on the offensive. Both parties have tried to capitalize on these tragedies that have happened both in Hubli, in Hassan, and several other places. In the coast, the BJP is sort of cornered with a case, a 12-year-old case of Saujanya, whose mysterious death remains unsolved through this day, and there are allegations that many people known to the BJP are part of the cover-up. So, in some platforms, the BJP is trying to push for this narrative that love jihad and minorities are emboldened under Congress's appeasement style of politics. And on the other forum, on the other side, you have the Congress hitting back at the BJP, sort of putting the mirror, showing them a mirror saying, this is what Prajwal has done, and the Prime Minister has endorsed a candidate like Prajwal. Now, this will continue in a manner to see what the SIT finds, whether or not Prajwal and other members of his family who've been accused of various serious offenses will face the law, and what the BJP's reaction will be at that time. Now, when that happens, we will know for sure where the BJP stands on the issue. Currently, it's mid-elections. In the next 3 days, we head to the second phase of polling. So the BJP seems a little focused on that. can't speak much on the alliance, have to steer clear of the Prajwal Revanna case as they have been doing and focus on other areas. So the results from Karnataka should tell us where they stand on it, and the future of this alliance stands on how the BJP treats them post these elections as well. There is one more question, and the subscriber asked that his name be kept anonymous. The question is, why didn't the BJP cut ties with the JDS immediately after the Prajwal news broke in public? This has made Sandesh Kali look like a minor issue. Now, I've answered this earlier as well, that it's mid-elections. Now, they have put distance between themselves and Prajwal, but they haven't, it's very unlikely that they will disown the alliance right now. If the alliance does well, now we'll have to see how they react to this. Some former legislators of the BJP who we spoke to, we asked them, what are you going to do if Prajwal is actually elected? So their answer is, is that we will exclude Hassan when we speak about Karnataka. So they're trying to put that distance between them. The alliance is very much intact. They are going to the polls, and yeah, so this is what's happening. Whether this makes Sandesh Kali look like a minor issue, I wouldn't say that. Every issue anywhere, however big, how many ever people involved, the magnitude is huge. In Hassan, we are in Hassan. The victims, some of the victims that have come forward, it's taken a lot of courage for them to come forward against against the Zion of a very, very powerful family. In Sandesh Kali, I'm sure as well, it takes a lot of courage for these people to come forward and report against the powers that be. So I don't think it will be fair to make comparisons between Hassan and Sandesh Kali and others, but because the aggrieved people here are no different than the aggrieved people anywhere. So even if there's exploitation on one woman, that's one too many. It just cannot be allowed, and so I wouldn't draw any comparisons between the two. But hopefully, in both cases, the perpetrators are brought to book and face the law. So we have another question from Edwin Bright, who asks that in northern Karnataka, whether JDS people come to vote or stay away, whether polling percentage compared to previous election will indicate this tendency. What is the margin of vote difference between winning candidate, whether they are close? Yeah, then in northern Karnataka, the JDS has a very, very limited presence. Now, in previous elections in Karnataka, especially in places where one party isn't strong, they normally take the help of another party. So there's a lot of quid pro quo arrangements. Like the BJP, we know that the BJP has helped the JDS in old Mysuru region in the past. This time, of course, it's a very formal alliance. Prior to this, it's always been, post-poll alliances or, sort of understanding between leaders. Every constituency is different, so there's a different equation in every constituency. But in northern Karnataka, so normally the JDS considers the Congress its biggest enemy, not the BJP. So they have worked together in the past as well. Remember, the JDS is the only major party in Karnataka that has allied with both the BJP and the Congress. So they've gone to wherever they can find power or find their way to sort of become that powerhouse, and they've remained relevant in that fashion. Now, yes, polling percentage may tell us whether people have come out by the numbers to vote, but it will be a little difficult unless we again go back to leaders and find out if the JDS, if the JDS leaders like Kumaraswamy and others speaking in northern Karnataka has had any impact, if more of their supporters are likely to come and really back the BJP, because leaders in those parts, JDS or any other party, they work according to their own equations and not necessarily follow all the decisions taken at the state level. Margin of vote difference normally in Lok Sabha elections are pretty large. they're in the tens of thousands. But we've seen very, very close elections, like the by-elections between Satish Jarkioli and Mangalangadi. It came down to less than 5,000 votes in Belgavi after the death of former Railway Minister Suresh Angadi. So it's going to be a close elections, is what we've been told. There is no seat that the BJP considers safe, nor any seat that the Congress considers safe. So in a 50-50 waveless election, it's very difficult to say which way the voters are likely to vote. It may be a very close. It could be a very close election than most of us imagined. So yeah, the final numbers, voting, who won by what margin, that analysis we will definitely bring to you post the results. Thank you so much for your questions and taking the time to interact with us. I am in Hassan with another colleague of mine, Shubhangi Misra, and we will continue to bring more reports from the ground, the story behind the headlines in this unraveling case involving one of the most influential political families in the country, Deve Gowda, Prajwal Revanna, H.D.Revanna. We will continue to bring these stories for you from the ground. Stay tuned. Please visit theprint.in for more such stories. If you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe to theprint.in/subscribe. Thank you so much.